Good afternoon, guys. This is Sheila D. I am back in the kitchen again. And guys, I got me some collard greens here. So what we are going to do is we're going to wash these collard greens, okay? Now guys, I like to put a little salt on my collard greens when I wash them. Now, I didn't rinse these greens off 2 or 3 times already, guys. So I am going to show you how I washed them and how I cut them up. Now, this video, I am not going to cook them for you guys, but I'm going to show you how to wash and cut up collard greens. Now, guys, I didn't pick some of them and I didn't cut a few of them because I had quite a bit of them that I bought, and I'm going to put them in the freezer for the holiday. And I like to buy them and put them in the freezer and cut them up and store them in my freezer because I like the frost to get on them. So what I did is I left a few so I can show you how to pick these. So what you do, guys, you can tear this off like this. This is the stem. And you don't want that in your pot. So you can cut them off. And you're going to put them together like this. And then you're going to cut them up really small. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I like to put a couple of them together. Although I still have my salt on them, that's okay because I didn't already wash these greens 2 or 3 times. But I like to put some salt on them, kind of kill some of the germs. You also can use some vinegar, guys. So let's get right into this video. So you're going to wrap them together like you see I did. And you are going to cut them. Now you could cut them small like this. A lot of people call these party greens, guys. I prefer mustard and turnip greens. That's what I prefer. So when I buy these collard greens, what I do is I wash them in a little salt and vinegar, and I rinse them at least 5 or 6 times to make sure they are clean, and I cut them really small, and then I wash them 2 or 3 more times. So altogether, you are going to wash these greens at least 6 times. Always wash your greens. Make sure your water is good and clean before you put them in a pot to serve it to cook, to serve to your family. Now you can cut them up while you're washing them. It's no big deal what step you do first or last. Just make sure that you wash your greens really good and make sure all the bugs and dirt is off of them. Now what I found about collard greens is they are not as dirty as the turnip and the mustard greens. So you see how I'm letting the sink just get full of water, and that's what you're going to do. You are going to let your sink get full of water, and you are going to just keep washing your greens, guys. And while you're letting the sink get full of water, you can keep cutting the greens. Because this is a long process if you do it right. Because you want your greens to be nice and clean. So it doesn't really matter if you cut them first and then wash them. But I like to rinse them a couple times and then I start cutting them. Because as you can see, The leaves on collard greens are really big. Now, when you cooking collard greens, I like to take and I like to boil them for about an hour before I put my meat and season in there to really start cooking them. You can drop a small onion into the pot and let your greens boil for about an hour. And then you put your greens on medium. You put your meat into your recipe. You can also use bacon, drippings, or you can use some bacon to season up your greens. So this is what we want to do. We want to let our sink get completely full of water, and you want to just rinse your greens. Okay? And I'm going to rinse them one time so you can see how I do it. I'm going to try not to keep you over 8 minutes, guys. So I'm going to start taking my greens out of my nice, clean, cold water, and I'm going to put them over here. As you can see, some of the greens, I still have to cut them. That's fine, because I got quite a few of them. So it didn't really matter to me what I did first. Although some of the greens, you gotta make sure the stems are off of them. So as you can see, I am rinsing them. And we're going to set them over here in the other sink. Okay guys, so as you can see, this water here, the water is still kind of green and kind of dirty looking to me. So I am going to let this water out. And we're going to start the process all over again. It takes a long time, guys, to wash and clean greens. So just take your time and wash and clean your greens. Some people also take these greens. Now, my mother used to take her greens, and I'm going to show you what she used to do with them. As you know, as you see, I have a stem on this. So I am going to break that stem off, and you're going to leave as much green as you can onto the green leaf. So some people take and they tear the greens up like this. Most of the older women, some of them prepare their greens like this. They'll just break them. You can do that also. Some people cook some of their stems into their greens. Now guys, this was quite a few greens. I think this was 7 pounds. 7 to 8 pounds that I bought. And so what I'm going to do with them, I'm going to cook some, and I am going to put some in a freezer bag and put them into the freezer, okay? So like I said, you can either break them up with your hand, or you can cut them. It's up to you what you prefer. So see how we got this nice clean water running into the sink? we are going to rinse them 2 more times before we cook them. Okay? So once you let your water out, you can start rinsing them again. And like I said, if you like the stems in your greens, put some in there. I put a few stems into my greens because I think that's where all, and a matter of fact, I know that's where all your vitamins that is in them stems. So I don't put a whole pot of them in there, but I might do a few stems in my greens. So what I am going to do is I am going to just break the rest of these greens up. But I wanted to show you how people cut them. And you cut them real small. And I'm going to show you how to cut them one more time before I end this video. But guys, once again, remember to rinse your greens at least 5 or 6 times. You want to make sure your water is clear. And when you're cutting your greens, you're just going to fold them up like this. And you're going to put them on like a cooking board or cutting board, and you're just going to cut them. And if you like them smaller than what I'm cutting them, then do so. But I like mine pretty much like my mother used to do. She'd take her hand and just break them up into small little pieces and cook them. Alright, so we got some greens in here. And we're going to rinse these, okay? This is how you rinse your greens. You're going to rinse them. And you're going to let your sink get good and full with some water each time that you rinse them. This process is going to take you maybe 30 to an hour. This is not an easy job to wash and clean greens, but this is the way you do it. Now remember what I said. You can take these collard greens and you can break them up with your hand, like I am doing, in small pieces. Or you can take and you can cut them. You wrap them up like this, and you could cut them like this into pieces. As small or as big as you would like, okay? So what I am gonna do, after I rinse and wash my greens a couple times, I am going to take and I am going to put my greens in a bag, and I'm gonna date them, and I'm gonna put them in my freezer. And then I'll take them out, and all I got to do is drop them into the pot. And once again, guys, these are collard greens. And if you don't know how to cook greens, I have a video on my channel that is going to show you how I cook my greens. I do not put a lot of water in the pot with my greens. I let the greens make their own water. Once you put these greens on, though, a lot of people call these party greens because they take a long time to cook. So when you first put collard greens on, you're going to put them on like a boil for about an hour, okay? And after you boil them for about an hour, you're going to season them up. You're going to throw your meat in to the pot with the greens, and you're just going to let them cook up. And also, like I said, you can add a small onion into the recipe and just let your greens cook. So, guys, Just keep washing these greens. You see how this water look here? These greens need to be washed some more. Now, once you know, how you know that your greens are clean is your water gonna be clean, okay? So that's how you know they're gonna be clean. Cause see the color of this water? You know you gotta wash them again. You want your wash water to be almost like a clear looking color, okay? Now we're gonna go over that clear looking color. I'm gonna show you what I mean. I didn't want to keep this video this long, but I want to make sure you clean and wash your greens good for your family, okay? So this is how your water should look. Cause I gotta wash these greens another 4 to 5 times. I can tell from the look of the water. So I'm gonna wash these greens some more, and I'm gonna show you how this water should look. So we're gonna let this water just run in, and I'm gonna wash these some more, and I'm gonna show you how that water should look. Now, when I cook my greens, guys, I use little to no water. I don't use all different kind of seasons in my greens. I use pepper and salt. And if you have something like an all season or a Lowry season, you can use that. But do not over season your greens. Some people put garlic in their greens. I don't do that. I might put some dried onions in the recipe, or maybe a small onion, and then after my greens get through cooking, I take the onion out. Also, if you're going to use ham hock or some kind of smoked meat, always boil your meat before you put it into the greens. And what you can do with this recipe, you can add a little okra into the recipe. Also, you can do that. Sometimes I like to put a little okra in my greens when I get done cooking them and season them. The last 20 minutes I'll throw a few little okra in there, and the recipe turns out great. So as you can see this water back here, I'm showing you how this water is supposed to look when you get through washing your greens, okay? And then I'm going to end this video, guys, because I didn't want to keep you this long. But I just had to show you how to wash these collard greens and cut them up. Because as you know, turnip greens and mustard greens are different from collard greens. The taste is totally different. My mother used to call these party greens. She didn't care for them, and I'm not a fan of them, but I eat them sometimes. So I don't know, guys, maybe I'll come with another video and I'll show you how to season these greens up and cook them. Share in your comments, do you want me to show you how to cook some collard greens? I can show you how to season them up, guys. But if I cook a whole meal, that'll take an hour or two video, and we don't do that. So this is what I wanted to show you. You see how clear this water is back here? That's how your water should look when you get through washing your greens, okay? All right. Thank you for coming into my home and allowing me to share this wonderful video with you. And I'll see you on the next video. And you have a wonderful and safe weekend. Guys, don't forget to help somebody. Don't forget to take care of yourself, love yourself, and be safe out there. Okay, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.